When you see graffiti on the wall, you're seeing an area that's infected by gangs and businessmen who may be coming into an area who won't come here, they'll go to somewhere else. In 1993, I would go out at the crack of dawn and I would get in when it was completely dark, only to come out the next day and it was there again, only 3 times worse, and have to do the same thing again.
Let's go over and take that out. What do you say?
Okay. This is my second stint out here, if you will, at Maryvale. When I was first out here as a brand new sergeant in the early 1980s, seems like gangs had taken over the entire neighborhood. And the problem has reduced dramatically. And it's not so much through police officer efforts as it is through the efforts of the community. One gentleman that I like to praise is Mr. Jerry Abmont. And he will get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and take care of the problem before whoever committed the graffiti gets out of bed and goes to school with his friends. So when they cross this particular area that the individual has graffitied, the problem is no longer there.
And that's the name of the game, that the kids do not see this.
As quick as they put it up, that's as quick as we got it off. So the word went out on the street, even via the internet, stay away from the west side. Your so-called artwork, vandalism, is not going to stay up like other cities.
All done. Okie dokie.
You can drive through Maryvale several times during any part of the given day now and not see the amount of graffiti that you saw years ago.
It's mostly, 90% of the time, just a nice ride through the 70 miles. And most of the stuff that's out there you can take off with a paintbrush, as compared to using gallons and gallons with rollers and things like that. I'm not using as much paint as I have, and most of the time I'm taking it off with a paintbrush that's there. It's not big anymore, it's small.
One of the biggest things gang members do to a neighborhood is intimidate the neighborhood. Once they've intimidated the neighborhood, they've won it. And that's why I tell a lot of leaders in the community, or a lot of neighbors and these block watches, is that they have to take the community back. They should not be intimidated by the gang members. In fact, they should do the opposite. They should intimidate the gang members by being out in their yards, by observing what's going on, reporting any crimes that they observe, becoming good witnesses.
The way I got started at this was moved to a neighborhood. We started having a little bit of crime and some graffiti in the neighborhood. Didn't know any of my neighbors. Went around, knocked on their doors, talked to them a little bit. They'd noticed the same thing. So we had a meeting at the school and decided to form a block watch, and things just grew from there. And at that time, it was an interesting time because community-based policing was taking off, and the police department was really looking for folks that wanted to get involved.
We're going to be on Channel 3 tonight.
Well, community-based policing is not a program, but an attitude. And the block watchers on patrol, I believe, are also among our best allies out there. These are people that are so dedicated. They do this out of their love for the neighborhood and the community. This is a neighborhood that they grew up in. Many of them have lived in this area for about 30 or 40 years. And they're out there at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning patrolling their neighborhoods and seeing the things that we don't see.
Do a radio check on 3, make sure we got communication, and we're off and running.
Okay.
Yeah. Drive safe.
We're just there to be the eyes and the ears. If we see something, we're going to call 911. We do have police scanners, as you could hear, that we're hearing what's going on. We also have two-way radios with the rest of the patrols that are out tonight. Along with that, one of our neighborhood police officers has one of our radios also.
so that we do have direct communication with him when needed?
Well, the average citizen are our best eyes and ears. Sometimes in this job, all we're able to do is react. That means we're only able to do something after the fact. It would be great if we could be there prior to something happening to prevent it happening, and sometimes we rely on our citizens to get involved and to be our eyes and ears, because they're always going to be there.
Okay, let me explain to you. If the party starts back up because of the shots fired, you're liable to go to jail.
Some of these people are going to come out and wave and say hi, and there's block watch, and you're probably going to see some of the bad guys, and they're probably going to give you the finger. But other than that, it's a positive response.
You get a core group of folks that never say die, that they just don't give up. I don't know where they get all their energy. I don't know how they make the time to do all the things that they do. They're one of the reasons that Maryvale is going to be the 21st century community. They're why we're succeeding.
There's a lot of neighborhoods that 4 or 5 years ago, you couldn't believe how bad it was. But you go back there now and you see families now living in some of the vacant homes. The neighborhood itself has picked itself up, and it's a real great place to live now.
Maryvale is mainly residential, and it's a lot of young families. So we needed to find something to be able to work with the kids on. Our first step in working with the kids was just trying to raise money or collections at the neighborhood meetings, and then we expanded. We started to look into grant programs that were available, city, county, state, federal, to where our youth scholarship program was born, I guess you would say.
Dwight Amery contacted me in probably December of 1994 and told me that he had gotten this neighborhood scholarship program and gotten a neighborhood fight back grant and had $15,000 to use for scholarship money.
Put your hands up. Yeah, there you go. That's how we're going to play defense. All right? We're going to have fun. Stay out there and have fun. Get the rebound, look at the pass, and make the shot, all right?
And this last year I did a head count. Over the last 3 years, we've been able to scholarship over 1,600 kids, and we've received over $40,000 through Maryvale UNITE.
He keeps giving, and there's no end to Dwight. When you ask him, and if he can't do it, he'll try to find a way to do it. With Maryvale UNITE, the kids who cannot afford to play at our level have gone to him with Maryvale Youth Scholarship Program, and he's contributed thousands of dollars throughout the year for his program to have. Right now, we've got a couple of kids who are going to college free of charge or half scholarships. That's the outside of it. And basically, overall, they become better citizens.
Maryvale UNITE's growth has been totally unexpected. It's just a route for some reason. We were fortunate in being able to get some grants for things like our youth programs. We were able to partner with the police department on our bicycle program to where we've provided over 500 bicycles in the last 5 years for needy kids. In fact, just last Christmas, the week before Christmas, we delivered 109 bicycles with our partnership with our bike building program and with the Maryvale's JROTC students that have become involved the last few years.
That one's on perfect, but this one keeps on sliding off.
The Service Learning Project is designed for our kids to start being part of their community by giving back to their community. They are expected to give 10 hours of community service per year as long as they're at Maryvale High School. The strategy behind that is to connect our kids with the community that they live in. And as an example, our JROTC program is into this building bikes and repairing bikes and providing them to our community for those who are perhaps less fortunate than you and I.
The more the kids get involved within their community, the more they respect the community. And I have seen this, just a tremendous amount of it over the past year. Received a phone call a couple of weeks ago. Lady says, you know, I really don't know who to talk to, and I was referred to you by the Maryvale UNITE. My grass is outgrowing my house, and I have no one that lives close to me. And that evening there was 5 of us that went over and cut her grass and, you know, trimmed her trees, and word gets out very quick. When you respect your community, people have a tendency to respect you.
It has become quite an endeavor, but it's been, as to use the old cliche, it's a labor of love, because it's doing so many wonderful things. And when you take a bicycle to a house and give it to a child right before Christmas and watch them light up and the parents light up, and he hops on the bike and starts riding around on it, it doesn't matter how many hours were involved, it's all worthwhile. Or to see the smiles on the kids that are in sports, or coming out of a dance recital that they were able to be a part of the lessons for, and see them beaming, and it's all becomes worthwhile.